Josh Smith with GottaBeMobile.com. This is our Galaxy S6 Edge review. Now this is the new model. It starts at $299, or you can get it zero on contract at many carriers. And it has this curved display. So it's not just the glass, the edge of the phone's display actually curves over for a really cool design. Now with that, you can get some features, including a edge notification. So when I swipe like that, I can get a notification there. And you can change where that shows, and you can swipe through, see notifications. You can add things like RSS feeds and other information. If I were to tap on one of these, it would take me into that on the phone. Now Samsung's really upped their game with the design. So now we have a Gorilla Glass 4 front. We have a metal frame that runs all along the edges with metal buttons on each side and metal on the bottom. So it's an all metal, all glass design. The back here is Gorilla Glass as well. It does pick up fingerprints. We're using the Verizon model. They sent this over so that we could review it. And after using it for about 2 weeks, it's definitely a really cool phone. Now, you may not have a ton of edge features for this display. You can swipe in and get quick access to contacts. I could call one of these contacts right from here, send them a message, and the color that you see there dictates what shows up when they call along that edge. Now, if you're looking between this and the Galaxy S6, the biggest reason to choose this is you want a phone that looks really cool, has a few special extra features, and is really eye-catching. Whether or not that's worth $100 to you depends on your disposable income and how much you really love the look of this Edge screen. Now, one downside to the Edge screen is sometimes if you're reading text on a web page that isn't formatted for mobile, you won't be able to read it great because it kind of goes onto the curve. Not a huge issue, but a little bit annoying when you're on some web pages. Most apps are fine when you're in them. Like if we jump into Facebook, we're not going to have that problem because everything's centered to the middle and it avoids that curved edge. As far as the camera goes, much better camera than we've seen on previous models. We have a 16 megapixel sensor on the back with a nice flash and a 5 megapixel sensor on the front. And you can double tap the home button from anywhere and you will quickly launch into the camera and you can take a photo really fast. My favorite part about the camera is that you get really good detail. Now, a lot of times when I take pictures with Android phones, I lose out on the detail in the hair here and in the eyes, where with this phone you can see that, captures it, and we have a 2K display so that even when I zoom way in, we can still see a lot of individual detail in the picture that I'm taking. And that's something that we don't normally see on a lot of Android phones. Now, overall, the battery life on this phone is pretty good. You will notice, unfortunately, you cannot remove the back, so we can't replace the battery midday, and you cannot add more storage. This is available in 32, 64, and 128 gigabyte sizes, and there are some options that allow you to add more storage through Wi-Fi or through a small adapter that you would plug in down here. You can buy an official battery pack from Samsung. You can also use a ton of other ones. There's a Mophie Galaxy S6 battery case, but I'm not sure if they're making one for the Edge. We'd have to check that. But there are options to charge up during the day. Another really cool feature is you can do quick charging. So if I were to plug in to the charger that comes with it or to another specific charger, the phone can go from below 10% to 50% in about 30 minutes. And that's enough to get juiced up and go through the rest of the day. If you can get to power, there's also ultra power saving mode and a regular power saving mode. As you can see here, this is switching us to a grayscale and kind of limits some of what we can do. And in this mode, with almost full battery, we're able to get 3.5 days of use. The idea is if you get down to 10%, you can't charge, you can switch over to this mode. You can still use most of the functions on your phone, and you're going to be able to eke that 10% into something that's longer. Maybe not as good as carrying an extra battery, but in our eyes, this upgraded design is worth the trade-off. The Samsung Galaxy S6 has an improved fingerprint sensor that you can use to unlock the phone. And it works much like with a iPhone where you just place your finger over it. Now in this case, I don't need to use that because I'm in a trusted location. So using the phone's location, it's able to tell that I'm where I need to be, and I can just swipe and unlock so I don't have to deal with a fingerprint sensor. This works with your location at home, at work, and it also works with trusted devices such as Bluetooth or NFC. So when I'm connected to my Bluetooth headphones, it knows to just unlock with a swipe, whether I'm at home, at the gym, running, wherever. Now, from a software standpoint, Samsung does improve things from previous versions of TouchWiz. It's not quite as obnoxious. Now, you still can't uninstall every app. You can uninstall some of them. Others, when you try to uninstall them, you'll instead get a disable. So we can uninstall Cookie Jam. But if we go over here and try and do the same with Milk Video, we only get an option to disable and reset. And there are other apps that have already done this with, like Slacker. So it's kind of hit or miss to what you can uninstall and what you can't uninstall. Samsung does still allow you to multitask. So we can press the multitasking button, and then we're going to be able to put two apps right next to each other just by pushing that little side-by-side option, and then we can choose another app. So here we have Facebook up top and Reddit down below. And what's cool is it's pretty fluid. If I want to write a post, it'll pull the keyboard up, and then when I'm done, it'll hide the keyboard. I can also change the size of one of the apps, and things still work pretty well. So there are some really nice options if you want to multitask. Should you buy the Galaxy S6 Edge? If you're torn between the regular S6 and the Galaxy S6 Edge, it really comes down to how much this cool factor of a curved screen is worth. Now, for some users, that $100 is going to be better spent on accessories, apps, things like that, because the features that you get with the Edge, such as the light up and information screening, really aren't worth $100 all on their own. But the cool factor of a phone with a curved display that will catch eyes and that you can kind of slide your finger over real easy might be worth that added $100 to some users. Overall, this is a very good phone, and you can check out a link in the description for more on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge.